Hello, this is teddygaming, welcome back to another review on welcome back to another review on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Untold Destiny of the Foot Clan, issue number 4, and this one, I really did enjoy it for the turtle side of things, but at the same time, with what they did with everything else, it really feels like this issue is not really moving all too much forward, and I feel like with some of the problems with this issue are more or less the same with like the last few issues, where even though it has some good stuff in this one, it doesn't really feel like this whole story is moving in like a really good way or anything like that, but it's a good one because of the turtle side of things, but other than that, I can't enjoy it all too much, but yeah, so okay, so let's begin with the Zodi and Krissa kind of things. So in this little bit here, we do get to see Krissa. She's found out where the Stardog clan is staying, and do get to see Zodi. She comes in with a brand new metal tail, which I must admit is pretty cool. And Krissa tells Zodi about this, and Zodi is a little bit annoyed because she wants to go off and fight them, but Krai's gone off to get some magic, and Zodi doesn't really feel like she's being respected or anything like that. And now she's just gonna go off and fight the Stardog clan, and I won't lie, I feel like I've just stopped really caring about her character. Chrissy, I feel like there's a lot of potential there to really set things up for her character and actually be a pretty decent character, despite her being a snake. So yeah, I feel like Zodi, I just stopped really caring about her, and just, if she dies in the next issue, oh well. If she teams up with a Stardog clan, who cares really? But Chrissy, I feel like she has a really good potential for this, for like the series in the future, but we'll wait and see about that. But yeah, so then for the next bit, and for like the majority of it, we do get to see Krai and her team, which is Casey, Natsu, and Clyde. Why is Clyde there? Who knows? So they're all in the cave and they go off to try and find some magic for Krai, and that is when they all get split up and have to fight like the inner demons, which turns out to be the turtles, but some of them do evolve and change into some stuff. So it's okay, I want to say. So yeah, what do I begin with this? Because so yeah, we've got Casey who is going off to fight Raph. And I know that some people will complain that, like, maybe like saying that, oh yeah, like Raph should have been like turned into Hun. Yeah, I guess so. It would have made a little bit more sense. But at the same time, with what was being shown here, with like Raph versus Casey, and like him saying, oh yeah, man, you know, like people can change. You've seen it more than anyone else. I know it. And if I can help it, I've got to do it. And with that, I really feel like there was a lot of stuff in here which I do feel like could have been set up for like a potential like Raph versus Casey kind of thing, and basically like Raph is turning into more like Han, or like Raph doesn't trust Casey anymore, or something along those kind of lines. I really do feel like there's a lot of stuff in here which could have been set up for a potential like rival between the two, but unfortunately there wasn't really all too much, and it was okay. I mean, I did enjoy Raph's design. It really did remind me a lot of the story from like one of the reprints of the Mikey micro series, where they just added a new story in for a Christmas Raph story where he went into the swamps or something like that in the future. So it reminded me a lot of that design, and I think for the most part, this bit was just okay. We had Natsu versus Mikey, which was very short, because Mikey very quickly turned into her father, which I did really enjoy, because I felt like this bit here, because with this bit here, there was more or less wrapping things up with Natsu and her father, which is something which I don't think really like many people really cared about, or thought, oh yeah, these two characters need a good send-off or anything like that, but I feel like it was a really good moment and ending for this little chapter in her life. But other than that, I didn't really think too much of this bit, but I did enjoy how it was ending things in a good or decent way, for the very least. Then we have Clyde, which, yeah, I don't like him. He was fighting Donatello, and oh my god, I think this is going to be the best Donatello design they've ever created. He was Donatello with the nobody suit, and if you look at it closer, he's got no legs, and he does have legs, he doesn't have feet, which I thought was a very interesting design. His bow stuff was a metal stuff with a sword at the end of it. Oh my god, everything about it was just so amazing, and I really want to see this design come back. It's got to be one of the absolute best designs they've ever created. Oh my god, wow, it was perfect. And with this bit here, there's not really too much to it. It was one page. So, and Clive was just like, yeah, well, you know, I went on this soul searching mission just because I just can't stand being around in New York because Venus is there. And Don's like, okay, that was quick. Which, yeah, and just, okay, yeah, I mean, didn't really think about it from that point of view for Clyde, but at the same time, it's just Clyde. Who cares about him? So, yeah. And, I mean, I do wonder when this does take place in the timeline, if this takes place before issue 150 in that story arc, or it takes place afterwards, because I feel like a lot of this stuff could have been more or less, like, probably doesn't need to actually matter because if Venus is not really there in the timeline, all that kind of stuff, but we'll wait and see about that. And then for Karai's one, it was Karai versus Dark Leo, and like this one, I think it was more or less suggesting that Karai was scared about people trying to take like things away from her, even if she can defeat them or something along those kind of lines. And I was really surprised by this fight because it was quite brutal with like Karai just slicing like Leo's head off, and it was quite gory, which I was pleasantly surprised by. But there wasn't really too much to this fight. I thought it was pretty okay, and I think that because we've seen like similar kind of fights before, like in the early days of this universe, I do feel like this one wasn't as cool, but I did quite enjoy it because it's Dark Leo, how can you not like him? And at the end of it, Karai does get the power from the Foot Clan by a dragon going into her, and I believe what it's just is that she lost an eye, but she gained it back and now it's yellow, or something along those kind of lines. And yep, they open up a portal to go back to Japan, and I don't know, that felt just a bit like, yeah, okay, we just gotta get back to Japan, like skip through this and all that kind of stuff, which was just, I felt like there was better ways they could have gone around it. And with this, like, more or less setting up the final issue where, like, we do get to see the Foot Clan versus the, like, Stardog Clan in the next issue for one issue. Yeah, I can't say if I'm excited for it all too much. I do feel like there's a lot of stuff which could have been done better, and with one issue just, like, taking them all down, it really feels like not much is being set up here, and I think the next issue could be a very disappointing one. But yeah, I mean, overall for this issue, it was really cool and enjoyable for total parts of it, but at the same time, with what I've been saying with like the last few issues, it really feels like this story isn't really moving all too much. And I feel like with this one, even though it's cool to see Karai get magic and all that kind of stuff, and then just magically goes back to Japan and all that, it somewhat feels like this whole issue was more or less a little bit pointless, really. But it could be cool depending on what they do next issue and stuff like that. I mean, there was a lot of stuff in here which I was pleasantly surprised by. I think this is more just the total stuff with how they looked with the wrap design, Donnie's design. Oh my god, that's amazing. And then even like some of the gory stuff with like Leo being beheaded, Toshio, I don't know how he says his name, but the Nazi's father, he came back and put his head on, and that was quite gory in a way. Like stuff which I was pleasantly surprised by. But yeah, I mean, this is part which I really want to love it, because there's also stuff which I do really enjoy about this issue, but at the same time, because of like so much of it that didn't really work all too well with me for the majority of this whole series, it's becoming really hard to enjoy like stuff like this. But yeah, so yeah, let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about this issue? Do you like it? Do you not? And yeah, that's it for today, guys. If it doesn't, please share. Let's just grab another stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.